Hey Pat, I hope you had a happy Father's Day. It's been a while. Um, yeah, I just want to say a few things because we haven't talked in a really, really long time, and I don't know how to get you a message any other way. So, first of all, yeah, I hope you had a happy Father's Day. And I hope you've had a happy Mother's Day on behalf of all the Mother's Days that I haven't had, the ones that you've gotten to celebrate instead of me. And I don't want this to come across as sounding too bitter. I mean, there is some bitterness there, but I just have some things that are long overdue that I need to get off my chest. So I hope you'll let me just take a moment to say some things and then close with a statement that I need to make here. So this is for you and for you only. So take with it what you will. I heard a song today that came on my playlist, and I haven't heard it in a really long time, and it just brought back a lot of memories. And the song was Real Love by the Beatles. And I used to listen to that song and think of you a lot. It was by John Lennon, and he wrote it about Yoko Ono, and regardless of Yoko Ono, whatever. But I remember thinking of you a lot when I was listening to that song and the lyrics about it, and all leading up our relationship and leading up to our wedding and all of that. And it was just ironic to me, just hitting me as I was listening to that song about how how not real our relationship was. At least, uh, um, not from what I felt, but um, from your standpoint, and how I have a lot of unresolved feelings about that I never addressed to you. And now that I'm older and wiser and more mature, it's kind of my only way to just express my pain about that, because I am more mature, and how hurt I was over that. The fact that I still have that wedding dress in my closet, and I never got rid of it. I've always held on to it all of these years, and I never quite rationalized to myself why I held on to that wedding dress and how painful that was for me to feel, I think, so duped by all of it, and how heartbroken I was. First of all, for the proposal with the fake ring in front of my dad. I mean, every girl has this dream of getting proposed to. And then the immediate selling of the condo that I had, which is my own, to getting a bigger place that I couldn't afford by myself. For that immediate, just only a few months of living there until you turned around and moved out and lived with your dad and filed for custody. And then later, coming to find out that it was just like all a setup to get me in a position where I was no longer financially stable, then I couldn't afford a lawyer, and that the wedding was never real. Like, you never intended on marrying me, and um, the hurt, the scarring, the trauma, all of that inflicted on me, and it took me years. I couldn't even process that pain because I was immediately flung into this custody battle for my child. It was just all such a shock at such a young age. And I couldn't fathom that anyone would do something like that to me. I couldn't understand it. And neither could my family. They didn't understand it either. They didn't accept it. They didn't understand it. I mean, it wasn't even, I mean, the planning of it was pathological. It was psychotic. Personally, I think there's something, I don't even know the pathology of what it is, of the type of person that you are, but I don't know if it's narcissistic personality disorder or um psycho psycho sociopathy. But the type of person that could fake a relationship with someone and plot something out like that in advance and do that to someone. And then what followed was the hardest thing I don't think I could ever even explain, is the custody battle that I wasn't even prepared for. And then the subsequent relationship that I got into after that, which I might add, he he wanted to protect me from you. And I know there's a million of reasons. I know I'm not perfect. But there was this guy that said that he loved me and he loved my son and he wanted a promise to protect me. And so I got into this relationship with this other man because he was going to help protect me in court from this other guy that was threatening to take away my child. And I would have done anything, anything to not lose my baby. And boy, did that backfire. And then I ended up pregnant. And when I was at my lowest, my very, very lowest, you didn't help. You didn't have any pity. You didn't have any empathy, not an ounce in your soul. You kicked me while I was on the ground. You took an emergency protection order for my son. And then you had me have supervised visitation from my best friend, the one that you said was the most, you had the worst opinion of, just to make me feel even lower. And then after my husband was put in jail and he was put away, you still made me have supervised visits with my son, because you wanted other people to have the impression that it was me that was the dangerous person. You wanted my son to feel that he was unsafe. You wanted other people to think that I was unsafe. And then to go further, you told people for years that you had sole custody, that I had lost custody. My mother thought I had lost custody. So many people have been told this story because they thought I was a bad mom. And you know that's not true. You know I gave it to you. And it was only supposed to be temporary because I had a stalker. You took that bit of trust that I gave you and you ran with it. You told people I was bipolar. You told my child I was bipolar. You convinced my child I was a loose woman. On multiple occasions. And I don't even know how many times behind the scenes you or your father, who kidnapped you as a child from your mother, I can't blame you too much because you learned this from him, have said horrible things about me around my son. And when he came home that weekend from visiting my sister and was crying and wetting the bed because he was so heartbroken and upset and stressed out about the things that had been said to him about his mother, and came home and I had no idea what was wrong with him. The last time he visited my house, my apartment, to have his time with me, I introduced him to my new boyfriend. A boyfriend I hadn't had in a few years. But you know this, right? Because he came home and told you that His mom introduced him to her new boyfriend. And you were jealous, weren't you? Because every time I dated anyone else that wasn't you, you went to court or you minimized my visitation time with him. After that, he didn't want to see me anymore. So let's get real about what really happened. I just want to tell you, I spent a long time being angry because I have a lot of righteous anger here. And it's very righteous. I have a very righteous reason to be upset because you kidnapped my son. But you did this to him. You let him believe his entire life is a lie. You're going to have to answer to him someday. My best revenge in this life is success. And let me tell you, I've been successful. I've been very successful. But he's going to figure this out. He's going to find out. It's a matter of time before he figures out that everything that you've told him is a lie. That you took his mom from him. That you told him lies about his mom. You told him his mom didn't want him. You told him scandalous, terrible untruths about his mom, her mental health, and everything else. And you made him reject his mom by influencing his opinions based on lies. And that is going to come back and bite you hard. Your karma is going to be him. So that's what I came here to tell you for your belated Father's Day present. You're going to end up alone someday, and it's going to be absolutely what you deserve. You don't have to be afraid of me coming to find you or to look for you. You don't have to worry about that at all. But someday, you're going to have to answer to your son for what you did. And your dad will too. And everybody else in your family that was complicit in this, that knew, that participated. And your poor mom right now, who has been threatened, yeah, I know about this, who has been threatened again for talking to me. You're pathetic. And the last things I said to you still stand. You're a spineless, pathetic little worm. So you're a miserable person. I don't have anything to do with you. And I'm really glad I didn't marry you. So bye.